Et bonjour YouTube, bienvenue dans cette nouvelle VOD sur Disco Elysium. Nous avons donc établi le contact avec cet ermite de l'église et nous allons continuer notre inspection du lieu, voir si on trouve cette espèce de scientifique chelou. Douleur transcendée, très bien. Une silhouette de cerf est dessinée dans le givre recouvrant la fenêtre. Attends, on va faire une sauvegarde rapide aussi. Le givre a recouvert le verre d'auréole, difficile de voir au travers. Et ensuite, on ira dire aux jeunes gens qu'ils peuvent investir la zone. Un vitrail coloré et craquelé. Alors, je ne pense pas qu'il s'agisse de Ruby, du coup, la nana, puisqu'ils ont dit qu'elle était brune. Une araignée a tissé sa toile autour d'un pilier en bois. Par contre, ça peut être la troisième mercenaire. Hein. On a toujours cette troisième mercenaire à trouver, qui est expert en radiocommunication. Des chaussures qui donnent de l'empathie. Elles donnent quoi, mes chaussures, à moi? Ah bah oui, mais c'est des bottes, là, d'autorité. Bah non, on n'enlève pas ça. Ah oui, par contre, moi, j'ai besoin de remettre un chapeau. J'avais oublié la dernière fois. Et j'en ai plus des chapeaux aussi, j'ai ça. Voilà, ça me donne de la logique. Qu'est-ce que ça m'enlève? De la suggestion. J'ai rien d'autre. Parfait, ça sera chapeau japonais, chinois, je ne sais pas, asiatique.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should probably let it be. It's becoming clear that there's no trace of the suspect anywhere inside the church.
Oui, mais cette machine est identique à celle de la zone commerciale maudite.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
Il examine le boîtier de la machine en veillant à ne rien toucher.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect, a model number RC7024, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible interim printer. The Ream Prefect is the governmental version of the commonly used Ream Civic model. Although mostly based on the same technology, the Ream Prefect is equipped with better noise attenuation circuits.
Une seconde, je vais jeter un œil. Non, vous avez raison, partant d'ici. Commençons par checker un peu les environs. Un magnétograveur portable de la marque Harmon Wofschi. Un enregistrement serait-il en cours? Quelqu'un détourne de l'électricité depuis l'extérieur et alimente cette antenne. Deux platines de magnétolecteur tournent dans le vide.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Non.
Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you. As if under a microscope.
Je lève les yeux.
The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You.
C'est de la compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Putain, je fais la même chose, mais je suis censé être communiste, quoi, putain.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles, her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
Comment est-ce que je sais qu'il s'agit de la mère de l'humanisme?
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Une seconde, c'est quoi au juste une innocence?
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
Un dirigeant?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate an authentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
C'est le cas à l'heure actuelle?
No, we are alone.
D'accord. Elle régnait à quelle époque?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
Je sais quoi d'autre sur elle?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Serene, modern-day Sir Laclay. Also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty, draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
D'où est-ce que ça sort, ça?
The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away. No, you must know.
D'accord, quoi d'autre? Elle était intelligente?
Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
Pourquoi ça?
It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era.
Vache.
Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest.
Connerie religieuse, ça, quand même, non?
Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Real Belt.
J'en veux davantage.
As did we all. The lands of the Mes and the Occident, and even far away Supra-Muindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
Son couronnement?
In a city called Advesperaskit, in Vespa Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her terriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
Elle devait être splendide.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well. The midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her terriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Et ensuite,
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
quoi?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Elle n'avait pas un côté terrifiant?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity.
Merci.
And you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
T'as raison, j'en prends bonne note.
Good. Now back out of this corner of your mind by choosing the bottom option. To hell with this. You've been standing here long enough.
Au diable ces conneries.
But she was not hell. She is the opposite of that. The wind of paradise, stripping away the covers from the hearts of men.
Elle est juste tombée au bon endroit au bon moment, ça va.
There you stand, below her once more, with your hands on your side, momentarily at a loss as what to do with yourself.
Dolores Day.
Yes. I wasn't sure before, but this must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez. It's called the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
Vous connaissez cet endroit?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds.
Vous pouvez m'en dire plus?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find the instigator here. Something else, perhaps.
Il observe les machines par terre.
Respectful. Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism?
Bah, visiblement, moi je suis influencé aussi. Hein.
A pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Vous savez pourquoi l'église a été abandonnée?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces.
Qui était chargé de l'intervention?
Well, your station was involved, I hear. Although I can't be sure.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
Vous n'êtes pas sûr?
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
Je suis peut-être déjà venu ici.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying you were. It was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything about it, why it was conducted or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
Si j'ai participé à cette opération, je ferais mieux de découvrir le rôle que j'ai joué.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Vous êtes un adepte du DeLoreanisme, Kim?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin.
Je savais pas que vous étiez croyant.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Je vais reconstruire le vitrail fissuré avec ma projection analytique pour voir ce qui s'est passé ici.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a leitmotif below them both.
Qu'est-ce qui a détruit ce vitrail?
Unknown. Something during the raid the lieutenant mentioned, or just hooligans looking for something to break.
Qui est cette vieille femme? Bah ça doit être la reine dont elle dépendait, hein.
The escutcheon on
Ouais.
her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, farriers, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
La devise, un message qui dit quoi?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau.
Ok.
And then, along the left side, après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the insulindian on human thinking. A tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death.
Au fait, lieutenant, il y avait une inscription. Après la vie, la mort, après...
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in DeLorean sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
Pour quelle raison?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine.
Ah bon?
It was a macho thing.
C'est quoi la devise de la MCR maintenant? Me fout des pains dans la tronche.
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Je préfère l'autre.
So do I.
Recule d'un pas.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
Je tourne les talons. Alors, il est temps d'intérioriser quelque chose. Paf. Alors, j'ai le centre Wompty Dumpty Dom. La théorie avancée des races, non. Générateur de date de naissance, non. Division sémaphore. Ouais, non. La litanie de contact Mike, ça c'était marrant. La 15e indo-tribu. Et les terres désolées de la réalité. Il paraît que vous êtes alcoolique et que c'est une maladie et qu'elle est en train de vous tuer. Vous passez votre vie à ramper, traînant derrière vous votre ventre rendu tout flasque par la picole, le cerveau confus et disjoncté, les cheveux collés et dégoulinants de sueur, et de votre gerbe de la veille. Peut-être ont-ils raison. Tout est préférable à votre sort, y compris l'arrêt de réalité. Peut-être pouvez-vous arrêter. On va plutôt prendre la litanie de contact, Mike. Hop. Ok. Bon, donc là j'ai fait le tour, donc ce que je vais faire, je vais faire une sauvegarde rapide et je vais toucher au bousin pour voir si ça fait venir la femme qui s'occupe de ça d'habitude. Une seconde, je vais jeter un œil.
A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
Je regarde à l'intérieur du compartiment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
J'appuie sur lecture.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon. Votre accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's the same old woman
Eh
you
oui.
spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Yvonne, c'est encore moi, vous allez bien?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
J'ai regardé à l'intérieur du cœur, mais l'adhésif se contente d'indiquer registre février-mars.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something.
Je connais pas le mot de passe.
Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Fortress accident, comme dans la zone commerciale maudite.
I have two machines registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Saint-Brune, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Saint-Brune, that's the church. And Rue de Saint-Ghislaine? That's the doomed commercial area.
Anything else I can help you with?
Merci, mais j'en ai fini avec cet appel.
Goodbye, Fortress accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent clay.
Et impression, ça fait quoi déjà?
Nothing happens.
Très bien. Ok. Jeune homme, tu l'as déjà entendu faire le mot de passe, toi.
Oh, hey, Wade, there's coffee in the back. Oh, wait, I meant the mother's love.
Vous auriez pas entendu le mot de passe de la Vierita par hasard?
Too many times, essay, you need it for something.
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety.
Je réalise une étude sur les mots de passe afin d'identifier les tendances régionales, dans une optique de protection du grand public, bien sûr.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. Why you think of that? Makes me almost pity la niñita pequeña when I hear it.
D'accord, merci.
I think we're done here, essay.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here.
Non, mais il se passe quelque chose quand même. J'aimerais bien savoir qui est cette dame. Donc on va utiliser son mot de passe et on va essayer d'en savoir plus.
The machine's keyboard, the speaker.
Good afternoon.
Je pense avoir le bon mot de passe pour le registre personnel.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Après la vie, la mort.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Merci, mais j'ai fini avec cet appel.
Goodbye, Fortress accident.
The machine's keyboard is still
J'appuie sur
illuminated.
impression.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Je lis l'impression.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church, the door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looked.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Vous pensez que ce registre est lié à l'affaire?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
Lire le deuxième billet. Moi, je pense que c'est...
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity.
Lire le troisième billet.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
Pourquoi est-ce qu'elle a besoin d'une antenne?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
Lire le 4e billet.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked.
Ah non, c'est juste les gens qui faisaient le jeu.
I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
La perte de données.
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
C'est qui ces artistes, ces programmeurs, cette Lexi?
I think these people worked in the radio
Ah, c'est
computer
ça.
games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
Lire le 5e billet.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working
Par contre, peut-être qu'elle va nous
8
donner des nouvelles sur Ruby.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Lire le 6e billet.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
Lire le 7e billet.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Je regarde les bols d'eau, bien
The
sûr.
lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
Je lis le 8e billet.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
C'est sûrement Hassel.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Lire le 9e billet.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access
c'est moi,
the
ça.
radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
C'est moi, j'ai fouillé dans ce radio-ordinateur, et la commerçante doit être Plaisance.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with the machine.
No. It was a great idea. You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines.
Lire le 10e billet.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping pong energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Interrupted by the sound of the church
Ça
door
m'a fait flipper.
opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Bonjour.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
Elle vous dévisage tout en appuyant sur le bouton off pendant plusieurs secondes. La machine redémarre.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
Nous sommes sur les traces d'un suspect dans le cadre d'une enquête criminelle. Il est possible qu'il se cache ici.
No one's hiding here.
Elle décolle à peine les yeux du clavier. Vous entendez la machine vrombrir à nouveau.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
The litany of contact Mike. 5,000 to 1 ranked outsider. No one saw it coming. The mantle of the game changer demands intangible qualities. Fights are not won. You're thinking, instead of doing detective work right now, fights are made, blow by blow. Let's take it, Mike to the Mikey. Some low-intensity part of you has entered a sports cliché-driven fugue state, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Also, Mike knew what it took to win. He just wanted it more.
Tous les lancers blancs vigueur sont déverrouillés. Nickel. Je sauvegarde. Alors, Sonia. Sona.
What is it?
Suna. Elle est toujours penchée sur son clavier dans la lumière douce de sa machine ronronnante. J'ai rien cassé, pas vrai?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Dites, vous seriez pas par hasard la programmeuse en chef de Wiral, le Cataclysme?
Yes. Or no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Excusez-moi, mais vous êtes qui en fait? Qu'est-ce que vous fabriquez ici?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
Vous avez déjà vu l'homme crabe?
No?
Et vous savez qu'il est là?
Yes.
Lui, il vous a vu.
And
Comment ça alors? L'homme crabe vous a vu?
I don't care. I don't care about crap men.
Occupée à bricoler l'imprimante de sa machine, elle lave à peine les yeux. Est-ce que vous avez croisé quelqu'un de louche, une femme appelée Ruby?
What? No. No one's suspicious around here.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
Qu'est-ce qu'elles font là, toutes ces machines?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Pourquoi vous avez besoin d'une antenne?
I use the AR1 as my RAM prefix processing unit.
Le RAM Prefect, c'est votre radio-ordinateur, c'est ça?
Mm-hmm.
Et cette antenne, c'est son processeur?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
Pas vraiment.
All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Une seconde, comment ça dans les airs?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
Et l'AR1, c'est une bonne antenne?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieux dedicated to that sort of thing.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
Qu'est-ce que vous fabriquez avec votre radio-ordinateur?
I'm working.
Sur quoi?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
Ah, les devs, ils sont insupportables, hein.
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
Votre M perfect là, c'est pas un radio-ordinateur exclusivement réservé au personnel gouvernemental?
So you do know something about computers. You're right. Prefect is used mostly by the government peeps.
Du coup, pourquoi est-ce que vous en avez un?
Because I needed something good for my investigation, and Reims Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards, so I had to upgrade. Besides, owning a Reims prefect isn't such a big deal anymore.
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see Ream prefects in every police department, for example.
Où est-ce que vous voulez être procuré?
I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the coalition. I was actually aiming for the military-grade Reim Rational series, but couldn't find one. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as Reims Civic, so it's kind of a rip-off. But it does have better compatibility with newer antenna models, so I won't complain.
Ça sert à quoi ces bassines d'eau?
They are connected to my Reim Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Ça marche, je vais essayer. Question suivante.
Great.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans une église abandonnée?
You really like those questions, don't you?
Je dois m'assurer que vous ne cachez personne dans l'église. Non, je suis un flic. Les flics posent des questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
Quel genre de recherche?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows.
Est-ce que le trou est lié à la
doesn't
perte de...
say anything.
Est-ce que le trou est lié à la perte de données mentionnée dans le registre?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
Un trou dans le monde, ça veut dire quoi exactement?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
La conversation monopolise désormais toute son attention et elle attend votre réponse.
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
On le mesure grâce aux données recueillies sur ce qui l'entoure, les trucs qui existent.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins.
Ah, hydro transducers. So that's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water.
But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
Elle garde le silence, les yeux rivés sur son cercle de bassines digne d'un rituel oublié. Vous savez à peu près où on peut le trouver, ce trou?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Elle lève les yeux en essayant en vain d'y voir clair dans l'obscurité aveuglante.
Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Pourquoi à cet endroit?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
C'est là que l'homme crabe est installé.
I know.
Vous pensez pas que l'homme crabe a une part de responsabilité dans cette histoire?
No, I don't.
Vous avez dit que vos recherches n'avançaient pas, pourquoi ça?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
C'est tout ce que je voulais savoir au sujet du terrifiant trou de 2 mm dans la réalité, pour l'instant.
Great. Thanks.
Pas... Sinon, la fabrication de drogue en quantité industrielle, vous en pensez quoi?
I feel that's illegal.
Hey, what are you doing? Laying everything out like that.
Votre impression est fondée. La fabrication de drogue est en effet un tantinet interdite.
Yes, I know that.
It is, yes. It's against the law. We're cops. The law is important to us.
Vous en pensez quoi de la Nordic dance music?
What? I hate it.
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Est-ce que vous avez déjà écouté de la Nordic music pour de vrai?
Yeah, like all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with their partying, do they? Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
D'accord, mais une boîte de nuit spécialisée dans la Nordic Dance Music, vous en pensez quoi? Vous en diriez quoi?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
Qu'est-ce que c'est alors?
Take a guess, why don't you?
J'ai entendu dire qu'ils ont l'intention d'installer un labo clandestin.
Bingo! That's exactly what they're up to.
Ah, wonderful. Now this house of worship is also going to be a drug lab. Always something fascinating happening in tents.
Ils cherchent seulement à promouvoir une culture jeune, vivante et active, ça n'a rien de répréhensible.
Yeah, what I said before. Not possible to appreciate that kind of music without being high as a kite. So that's settled. Great. No nightclubs in the church then.
Bon, bah je vous laisse bosser tranquillement. Elle est pas très agréable, la dame. Mais on va aller expliquer aux gens que c'est pas possible. On s'était arrangé avec l'homme crabe, mais s'il y a des études scientifiques en cours... Même si en réalité, foutre de la musique partout qui vrombrise dans l'espace, justement, ça l'aiderait dans ses recherches. Attends. Est-ce que je peux pas lui reparler du trou de 2 mm et que maintenant qu'on a parlé de la Nordic Dance Music, je lui propose ça? Parce que c'est un truc qui remplit le spectre audible. Donc si elle mesure avec des micros la musique dans l'air, elle trouvera l'endroit où il n'y a plus rien.
Yes, what is
Par
it?
rapport au
The
trou de 2
swallow,
mm.
you mean?
Non, je peux pas.
Great. That.
Dommage. Pour moi, ça avait du sens. Mais on se détourne toujours un peu de notre affaire, hein, quand même. Et à 22h, j'ai rendez-vous avec les communistes et je connais toujours pas le mot de passe. Cette église n'était encore qu'une perte de temps. Putain, la lumière, elle pète des câbles des fois.
Hi again.
Je vais aller faire un tour dans l'église.
How things going? And what happened?
J'ai discuté avec l'homme crabe.
Oh man, who is he? What did you think?
Honnêtement, il a l'air sympa. Il accorde une grande place à la spiritualité.
Really? Interesting. What's he doing in the church?
Il passe ses journées à prêcher et à prier, visiblement.
No matter. Is he gonna be a problem? Yeah, Noid is right. Let's get back to the point. What are we gonna do about him?
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
Il m'a dit que la discothèque ne le gênait pas du tout.
I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice friendly hyper time?
Pas de quoi s'inquiéter, il en a pas grand chose à foutre des gens, ni de vous ni de personne en fait.
I guess it's not a massive problem, now that I think of it.
Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light! Yeah! Maybe. I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her?
J'ai utilisé l'unité centrale, mais Suna, l'ancienne programmeuse en chef de Fortress Accident, est intervenue.
A programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub?
L'idée de la discothèque de musique ne lui plaît pas. Et le labo de drogue n'arrange rien.
What a pity. Those are my two favourite things in the world.
Il laisse tomber plusieurs vis dans sa boîte à outils.
Drugs and hypnotic music. I mean, and she doesn't like either one of them. Some people are just born retrograde.
A shame. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam? And into a laser-lit future of dance and unity? Unity!
Dance!
Elle ne bougera pas tant qu'elle n'aura pas fini avec son projet.
And you can't just evict her?
Non, je vais pas l'expulser. Il faut trouver une autre solution.
Look at you, honor man. No, Noid. He's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround. We can make a deal not to bother her. If that's okay with her, we only want to get in the church and spread the joy and ecstasy of music.
The lines in the dark exist. Coexist. At least Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's hard. He'll understand.
Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like Nordic dance music?
Absolument pas. Elle a le bord de tout son être.
Egghead cannot believe what you just said. It makes him pump the jam a little slower for a moment, but then he returns to the full swing of it.
No worries. We'll figure it out. If coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? If it's all okay with you, what do you think?
Peut-être que la pilule passerait un peu mieux si vous renonciez au labo de drogue.
Oh man, but the drug lab was like an integral part of getting the club going.
For me, it was my favourite part. Chemistry's great. Besides, imagine all the drugs we could do if we had our own drug lab. I mean, anodic music is great and all, but drugs, they make you feel really good. When did you last feel really, really good?
Pourquoi se droguer quand on peut tenter de percer le mystère de l'alcool?
Nah, but you see, no one likes drunk people. Drunk people get into fights and try to hit on everyone. Now, people on speed, however,
Are pretty much the same, but instead of falling asleep at the 12th hour, they go on for 24 hours straight.
Je refuse de la flanquer dehors, mais je peux essayer de la convaincre.
Excellent. Good luck, my friend.
C'est tout pour le moment.
Goodbye, officer.
Poursuivons. Et est-ce que là, je vais réussir à venir lui proposer... Putain, je suis en train de me niquer la main. Je suis en train- Il y a mon tapis de souris qui est en train de se coller à ma peau avec la sueur. C'est la demeure de quelqu'un qui est loin de chez lui, comme la vôtre, oui. Les petits bouts de tapis de souris qui sont collés à ma peau.
Yes, what is it?
Vous êtes peut-être pas obligé de partir. J'ai discuté avec André, il est prêt à se montrer arrangeant.
I don't want to make anything work.
Pas si vite, vous voulez pas faire le moindre geste?
Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work.
It's not the anodic dance music that's made her bitter. It's the failure of Fortress Accident.
C'est l'échec de votre jeu radiophonique qui vous a rendu amer?
That's right. If we couldn't get our Welkins to happen, I don't want anything to happen. Ever again.
There's not a trace of irony in her voice. She means it.
La convaincre de coopérer avec les fêtards.
Easy. When her research is done, she can move out.
À propos de vos recherches, vous avez dit que vos recherches n'avançaient pas beaucoup. Peut-être que je peux vous donner un coup de main.
What? No, I don't really need any help with the project.
Si je vous aidais à boucler votre projet, vous seriez plus obligé de cohabiter avec des voisins bruyants dans une église, c'est vous qui voyez.
She thinks about it. A glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair.
All right. Bring me the game's off-site copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself.
C'est cette mémoire filamentaire que vous voulez?
No, that's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization. I don't need it.
In his defense, it was simply lying in the desk drawer of an abandoned cubicle.
Okay, but still,
C'est quoi une copie hors site et pourquoi vous en avez besoin?
it's a backup of my former employer's project, the radio game we were working on. It's stored on a filament memory, just like the one inside this radio computer.
Elle vous indique le cube lumineux à l'intérieur de la machine.
She's making it extra simple for you.
The backup itself is destroyed now, but I'm hoping to use what's left of it to pinpoint the exact location of the anomaly. You just have to go to my old workspace and get the filament.
Hold on. If it's called an off-site copy, then why is it still on-site?
C'est pas un peu bizarre une copie de secours hors site conservée sur place?
Oh god, not this again. It is not on site. It is in the basement. Perfectly safe and not connected to the front at all.
Basement? Sounds like it's technically still on-site.
And no, taking it outside the building wouldn't have protected it from the data loss. There's nothing wrong with keeping the backup in the basement. What happened was a freak accident that has nothing to do with how the backup was stored. We clear?
Elle vous fixe du regard de ses yeux flamboyants.
This is clearly a painful topic for her. She must have had to explain herself numerous times.
Votre ancien bureau, vous parlez du studio de Fortress Accident dans la zone commerciale maudite.
Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady.
En fait, je suis déjà allé dans la zone commerciale maudite.
Good. Then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. The filament is inside the fridge. Just go and get it.
Et elle est où exactement cette copie hors site?
In the giant ice bear fridge. I just told you. It has red glowing eyes. It's impossible to miss. You just need to get the offside copy from the ice bear.
J'ai trouvé un mot sur le frigo en forme d'ours. Ça disait que la copie hors site avait été déplacée vers un endroit plus sûr.
Wait. A note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory?
D'après la note, la copie hors site a été transférée dans une machine à glace à proximité. Et elle est signée par un certain Sulislow.
Jawiza. Of course. Our project lead, Suliswov Jawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, and the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The offside copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous.
Elle croise les bras, l'air intraitable.
And the heads... I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thanks.
Valley of 1,000 Heads. You like the sound of that.
J'ai trouvé la machine à glace, mais j'ai pas réussi à ouvrir à cause du givre.
This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't know. I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out.
There's a solution, but she doesn't want to hand it over to you yet. It's a thing. Something she holds dear.
Au fait, on a foutu un cadavre dans le frigo.
Wait, what? Whose dead body?
You know, we don't actually have to tell the entire world about the fridge.
Whose body is it?
C'est le corps du pendu.
And what is it doing in the fridge?
It's almost as if she feels some sort of ownership of the fridge.
Pas d'inquiétude, je l'ai stocké temporairement. C'est pour une enquête officielle.
You put it there? You put a dead body inside the ice bear fridge.
Ouais, c'est ce que je viens de vous dire.
Okay. Very cool. Thanks for keeping me in the loop.
We would appreciate it if you kept this knowledge to yourself, miss.
Who would I tell? My mother? I don't have anyone to tell. And if I did, I wouldn't. I don't care.
Pourquoi vous pouvez pas aller la chercher vous-même, votre filament?
The bookstore lady hates me. Says I'm part of the curse. Whatever that means.
Qu'est-ce qui lui fait croire que vous êtes lié à la malédiction?
Because she's from Martinez, and people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil.
C'est vrai que les habitants de Martinez sont un peu largués.
She literally started praying for the higher powers when she first saw my Reims Civic. I'm not making this up.
The lieutenant coughs like he's amused.
Once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange trinkets and amulets. Wards. It looked like some Semenine magic.
Ça marche, je vais récupérer la copie hors site.
Thanks.
Elle réfléchit un instant, puis tend la main derrière le radio-ordinateur et vous remet un pied de biche de taille magistrale.
And here's my Falsund multitool. You might need it to hack loose some ice.
Et voilà.
It opens everything. If you get me the offside copy, then you can keep the Falsund.
It hurts a bit for her to say this. She's not too happy to be parting with the Kvalsund.
Bon bah je vous laisse tranquille. Ben voilà, maintenant j'ai le Kvalsund. combi outil KR plus 2 Xvalson à équiper pour ouvrir les conteneurs verrouillés que vous croisez. Excellent, excellent. Et juste pour être sûr, on va se mettre un petit truc d'instrument physique. Parce que des fois je dois foutre des pains. Et je suis pas vraiment équipé dans le domaine. On va terminer ça en vitesse. On va clore l'épisode là-dessus. On va revenir à la kinéma pour appeler la bibliothèque et tout ça parce que ça on n'a toujours pas fait. Et on va récupérer la mémoire holographique et la ramener à... La mémoire holographique, pas du tout. Je sais plus comment ils appellent ça. Le filament, quoi. Et on va ramener ça à Suna. Et on n'aura pas du tout progressé vers Ruby, mais voilà, on fait des quêtes secondaires, quoi. Ouf, je me suis fait peur en cliquant sur l'inventaire. Merde. Hop. Et oui, il y avait un conteneur aussi dans le port que je voulais ouvrir. Et le port, on y retournera plus tard parce que au moment où on se décidera finalement à aider Evrard, si on y arrive.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
La radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Mettez-moi, je dois signaler un cadavre sur la promenade de Martinez.
One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
Un homme d'âge moyen non identifié, taille environ 1m70-75, cheveux bruns, corpulence moyenne. On dirait qu'il a glissé dans un trou sur la promenade et que son crâne a heurté le banc en métal.
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence?
Non, on dirait que c'est un accident.
No field autopsy necessary. What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes?
Il portait des bottes, un pantalon et une vieille veste en cuir avec un liseré bleu clair. J'ai trouvé une carte de bibliothèque dans ses poches.
Any information on the library card?
Elle vient de la bibliothèque municipale de Jamrock Centre. Elle est au nom de quelqu'un qui s'appelle Billy Méjean.
Good. You have a lead. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case or should I assign it to someone else?
On va s'occuper de cette affaire.
I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in.
Alors là, vous pouvez envoyer quelqu'un pour l'emmener à la morgue, mais sur notre affaire principale, il a fallu que Kim l'amène lui-même. Mettez-moi en relation avec la bibliothèque municipale de Jamrock.
Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer?
He sounds worried, yet ready to assist. This is how people get when the police call.
J'aurais besoin de toutes les informations que vous pouvez me donner sur Billy Méjean, l'un de vos membres.
Billy Méjean, you said. Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database.
Il baisse le combiné.
Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Méjean's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Oui, l'adresse de son domicile nous intéresse.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Gislain,
Ouais, donc c'est ça.
33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Capeside Apartments, it says.
Vous avez d'autres d'autres informations sur Billy Méjean?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day.
Vous savez qui était présent ce jour-là?
Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Méjean? They returned a Tybalt book the other day. Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87, but we don't have it yet.
Good. You have a name now.
Donc Billy Méjean est une femme et pas un homme. Comment votre collègue sait-elle que c'était son mari?
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her.
And then goes for a little drink later. On the lookout.
Connaissez-vous le nom de son mari?
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight.
Est-ce que Marie peut me décrire le mari?
Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him.
Qu'est-ce qu'il portait comme vêtements?
One second.
Bah, tu peux nous passer Marie au pire.
Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that.
Merci, c'est bon, je n'ai plus d'autres questions.
Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Le bibliothécaire raccroche et l'appel bascule de nouveau au poste de police, accompagné d'un petit clic.
Anything else you need from
J'en ai fini avec la radio.
Over and out.
In the cabin, you see
Fermez la porte.
snow covers the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage. The white colors nearly meld together.
Attendez, pourquoi est-ce que je pense à ça? Je n'étais pas supposé.
Do something important? Something murder related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Furve series. With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Canema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
Est-ce qu'elle ne risque pas de partir en tonneau au premier virage?
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Canema effectively a mobile power plant.
Cette discussion technique me fait du bien à l'ego.
Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
Cette machine est vraiment un moyen de communication plus local qu'autre chose. Vraiment cool.
You want to take a closer look?
Elle embarque quoi là-dedans?
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
C'est quoi ça, un V12 7 litres?
7.2. Supercharged.
C'est quoi ça? Ah, un V12 12 litres.
Saying
ouais.
these words brings him immense joy.
Une bien belle machine.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot. It's a bit girly right now. Fit it with some proper off-road components.
Vous avez pensé à changer pour des phares à l'hélium?
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
Si jamais on arrive à résoudre cette affaire, peut-être qu'on pourrait faire ça ensemble.
Maybe. Yes, definitely, maybe.
And means no.
Bien, continuons. Et du coup, l'affaire du meurtre, on en est où? Allez voir Billy Méjean dans son appartement pour lui apprendre la mauvaise nouvelle. Vous devez vous rendre dans l'immeuble Nord de Martinez, appartement numéro 20. Ok. 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 On va faire ça au passage. Même si le soir je suis censé y revenir pour le communisme là. Mais peut-être qu'elle le mettra. Alors c'était cette machine là.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-crank ice cream churner and an electric freezer.
Putain mais attends. Même avec ça, ça me donne pas plus de... Est-ce que j'ai des vêtements qui me donnent de l'affinité mécanique? Ceux-là sont mieux. Non. Non, mais on va tenter. Hein.
Machine is dead still. Ice squeaks beneath your Cavalzum multi-tool, but your fingers slip away from the tool. The lid shutters tightly as before, and it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get...
Est-ce que là on fait une arnaque de je quick load jusqu'à ce que ça marche? Parce que c'est ça qui va me débloquer pas mal de trucs. C'est un petit peu l'arnaque, hein, mais... Allez, disons que je me donne 3 essais.
This orange machine is dead. I squeak and it's already unplugged.
Ça me dit quoi sinon? Trouver le bon outil, demander de l'aide à Suna. Dernier essai, sinon je chercherai autre chose. En fait, c'est un chalumeau qu'il me faudrait pour déjouer.
This orange machine is I squeak and it's already unplugged.
Ouais, j'en fais un dernier.
This orange machine is dead. Ice groans
Voilà.
and howls under the
C'est un peu trop
strain
la
of
triche, mais
its
bon.
giant Gewaltsam multi-tool until the lid cracks open.
J'ai pas trop fait de tri jusque-là. Donc,
Darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object, intricate and foreign, left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep, a filament memory with the words off-site copy written on its side.
je prends la mémoire
You
filamentaire.
gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding, careful not to damage it.
We should take it back to Miss Lucan and killed as soon as possible. I'm not sure how well unused filaments tolerate room temperatures.
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament? There's a radio computer.
Non,
upstairs.
on n'a pas le temps. Déséquipe ça. On va juste passer à annoncer le décès quand même à la dame. Parce que les objets c'est bien sympa, mais... les gens c'est plus important. Je suis un flic humaniste. Appartement 20 de Cape Side. Appartement 20. Mais comment je sais où c'est Là c'est marqué quoi? C'est rien marqué. Je l'avais croisé à la librairie. Ici.
A weathered brown
Oui.
door. The number reads 20. The lieutenant motions to you to go ahead and knock. This is the door. You already know it's the right door. This
Pas-
is going to be so hard.
Pas si vite, Kim. On devrait en discuter avant de continuer. À quoi doit-on s'attendre?
You're right. Let's talk this through.
Il observe la porte de l'appartement et baisse un peu la voix.
We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased is the husband of Billy Méjean. We need to confirm this, as well as deliver the death notification to Billy herself. Now, delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually done in pairs. You got this. I'll be monitoring reactions, ready to act if necessary.
Vous auriez un conseil sur la façon de lui annoncer qu'il est...
Dead? Just don't say that you know how they feel. You don't.
Good advice.
Et si j'ai pas envie de m'y coller?
Yes, it's hard. But there is no easy way to handle this information. It just has to happen, as soon as possible.
Bien, je pense que je suis prêt.
The lieutenant motions towards the door.
Je frappe. Bonjour, qui est-ce? Lance une voix depuis l'intérieur. Nous sommes bien chez Billy Méjean, c'est la police. Veuillez ouvrir la porte. La police? Donnez-nous un petit moment, s'il vous plaît. Vous percevez un peu de remue-ménage à l'intérieur.
There's fear in her voice.
Elle déverrouille la porte. Entrez, c'est ouvert. Les fenêtres sont recouvertes de vieilles coupures de presse. Bonjour. Un manuel du lycée de mathématiques. Il est surtout centré sur la trigonométrie. Des affiches de pop stars contemporaines dans les murs. Les aiguilles de l'horloge avancent avec une étrange gaieté. Leur tic-tac vous rend nerveux. Ce dernier résonne dans la pièce. Ils ne peuvent pas se payer de rideau ou quoi? Des restes ont été réchauffés sur une cuisinière.
It's you from the bookstand.
Durant un instant, elle semble paralysée, les yeux fixés sur vous et Kim, puis elle se ressaisit.
She must know you're here because of her husband.
I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy. Would you like something to drink? Tea? Lemonade? We're out of coffee.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and is busy cleaning them in his handkerchief for now. You're on your own here. Condensation from stepping inside. He must feel vulnerable without his glasses. Is this why he's letting you take the lead?
Merci, ça ira.
Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? I can come pick him up in the station if that's what. No, this is something much worse. Is he in a hospital? How bad is it?
How about some small talk before you break the news?
Bon, comment allez-vous?
How have I been? You're not here to discuss me. What is this about, officer?
Can't write a scene without knowing the actors. Ask more. Get comfortable around her.
J'ai remarqué que vous étiez en train de cuisiner.
People got to eat. What is this about? Why are you suddenly asking me about my cooking?
Vous vivez ici avec votre mari Victor, c'est bien ça?
It's me, Victor, and the kids here. We have 2 daughters, Jenny and Jolie.
Quel âge ont vos filles?
Jolie is 16 and Jenny is turning 18 next month.
Vous êtes seul? Je ne vois personne d'autre ici.
The girls are staying at their friend's place tonight. And Victor is out.
Il n'est toujours pas rentré.
No. Why? Do you have any news?
Savez-vous s'il est arrivé jusqu'à la bibliothèque?
No. I guess I'll find out when he decides to come back home. It shouldn't be long from now. He's never gone for more than a few days.
Quel est le nom de la bibliothèque?
Oh, it's in Jamrock. The one at Mayrow Street. I don't know the official name.
Central Jamrock Public Library?
I think yes, if that's the one on Mayrow.
It is.
Qu'était-il censé faire à la bibliothèque?
Just to return a book of mine. Why? Why all those questions, detective? Did he...
Do something? Break something? It's a fool's hope.
Est-ce que c'était le virage étincelant de Monsieur Thibault?
Yes.
Elle semble décontenancée en disant cela, le front plissé par un petit trouble manifeste. Rappelez-moi, que portait-il la dernière fois que vous l'avez vu?
His old leather jacket.
Vous pouvez la décrire?
It's just your average brown leather jacket, but he bought it as a teenager, so...
Aucun signe distinctif?
No, well, the lining is hand-sewn, it's blue. I tried to make the thing more weatherproof since he's running around with it in the middle of winter.
Ce n'est pas tout.
She folds her hands across her chest.
Lui parler du cadavre. Là, je l'ai angoissé.
I don't want to.
Une seconde, quoi?
There has been enough pain.
Et il le faut.
I don't want to do this.
J'ai l'impression qu'une partie de moi refuse de s'y coller.
Do what?
Officer.
Too late. You ruined it. Just say it now.
Votre mari est mort. Putain. Chier. C'est où ma dernière sauvegarde? C'est que j'ai trop parlé en fait, hein. Et que je l'ai fait flipper. Allez, on fait ça en vitesse et du coup on n'aura pas le temps de boucler le truc à l'église parce que ça fait déjà 1h15 de VOD. On va juste annoncer le décès. Et on s'y reprendra la prochaine fois, c'est pas grave. Peut-être qu'on arrivera finalement à poursuivre aussi notre affaire principale. Parce qu'on n'est pas venu pour tout ça à la base. Mais bon, vu que c'est un quartier où il n'y a pas beaucoup de flics, pour une fois qu'il y en a un, qu'il y en a deux même, autant expédier toutes les affaires du coin. Alors, paf, paf, paf,
You're right.
paf,
We have our first
paf,
delivering a dead.
paf,
Good
paf,
advice.
paf,
Yes, it's hard.
paf,
The lieutenant
paf, paf, paf,
is fearing.
paf, paf, paf. Bonsoir madame.
It's you.
She must.
I don't think I...
The lieutenant condensation. He must feel vulnerable without his glasses.
Is it... No.
How about some small talk?
Parce que là je suis à 83% en vrai.
It's me. Vic Jolie is sick. The girls are no. Vi, do you have any news?
She folds her hands
Allez.
across her chest. I don't want to.
Quoi? À 83%? Non mais attends. Est-ce qu'on peut s'en sortir à partir de là? Il le
I
faut.
don't want to do this.
C'est hors de question.
Do what?
Officer,
Too late. You.
Putain. À 83% je rate. Est-ce que c'est une blague? C'est pour me punir d'avoir triché sur le lancer d'avant. Mais je peux pas me permettre de mourir. Allez, laissez-moi juste lui annoncer la mort de son mari, quoi.
A weathered brown dog. The lieutenant.
Alors,
This is the.
bla
You're right.
bla
We have
bla.
we can't. Someone has to deliver the news. Let's.
Alors,
You're right. We have our now delivering dead.
Good advice.
Yes, it's hard.
The lieutenant.
merde.
A weathered. The lieutenant.
Essaye de pas
This is
cliquer
the
sur
door.
n'importe quoi. Putain.
A weathered brown. The lieutenant. This is the door. There's.
Allez, essayons pas de pas faire de misclick à force de cliquer frénétiquement comme un abruti. Ah. On va faire une sauvegarde rapide ici pour pas se retaper tout le chemin si ça rate. Mais on va dire que
She
ça s'est
must-
pas
I don't
raté.
think I...
The lieutenant condensation. He must feel vulnerable without it.
No,
How about some small talk before you
it's me. Jolie, the girls are... No. Vi, do you have any...
She folds her hands across her. You've
Quand
done
même.
this before. Just keep your focus.
Bon, je lui dis simplement qu'il est mort, juste comme ça.
Yes. That's the most important thing. Use that word. No euphemisms. This is what you came here for.
Madame, je suis désolé de vous annoncer ça, mais votre mari Victor Méjean a été retrouvé mort sur la promenade de Martinez.
What did you say?
Votre mari Victor Méjean est mort. Toutes mes condoléances, madame.
Oh,
Elle se touche les coups, les yeux aussi livides que des perles d'eau de mer.
oh. But... he was just...
Elle regarde la table de la cuisine où 2 mégots de cigarettes reposent toujours au fond du cendrier.
But he was just here. Alive.
We understand this comes as a huge shock. I want you
Mais-
to know that me and my partner are here for you if you have any questions. Take your time, man.
What happened to him?
Son cou et ses... Elle se retourne vers vous. Son cou et ses joues sans pourpre, son double menton s'embourbe. C'était un accident. Il est tombé dans un trou sur la promenade et s'est cogné la tête.
Was he drunk?
L'alcool a peut-être joué un rôle en effet.
I see. And you just found him there, lying in the cold. How long had he been there?
If you say 2 days maybe, it will be etched in her mind forever.
Difficile à dire à ce stade.
She blinks, eyes welling up with tears, as her hand starts searching for something from the pockets of her dress.
Here.
Pouvez-vous nous appeler Pouvons-nous appeler quelqu'un pour vous? Un ami, un membre de la famille, un proche qui saurait vous réconforter?
No, no. I just need to tell my girls.
L'air s'échappe subitement de ses poumons.
Unreal.
God, should I call them? Should I tell them to come home?
No. A day.
Non, prenez une journée pour vous remettre. Vous serez mieux préparé quand elles rentreront demain.
Good. That's probably the right thing. Thank you.
Elle hoche la tête, sans toutefois se départir de sa tristesse.
Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him?
We've taken him to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Here's his number in case you want to contact him earlier.
A very good call.
Is there anything else that the RCM could do for you?
No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still...
Elle se frotte le visage, effleurant ses joues engourdies.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'll call if...
Encore une fois, toutes mes condoléances, madame.
We should step outside and talk.
Posez la carte de bibliothèque près d'elle, quittez la pièce. Ah, ne plante pas le jeu, hein, attention. J'ai réussi mon lancer, qu'on me le retire pas. Hein.
You did well.
Vous dit le lieutenant dès que vous avez quitté l'appartement. Le balcon semble frais et paisible et offre une vue incroyable sur le district. On fait quoi maintenant? Non, j'aurais pu faire plus.
You did enough.
Il s'interrompt et se frotte les mains pour se les réchauffer.
Can't save the whole world, you know.
Can't bring the dead back.
On fait quoi maintenant?
I'll call the station when we're finished with the day and let them know the name of the deceased.
Et c'est tout?
That's it. We should get back to our case now that our duty here is done.
Et Billy et ses enfants?
They'll manage.
They have to. It's not your place to live their lives.
Bon, on va faire classer alors.
Let's go.
Et ben c'est là-dessus que, sur ces belles paroles, que nous allons nous arrêter. Merci à tous d'avoir suivi ce stream et merci YouTube. Au revoir YouTube.